Welcome to Amanda Hall Psychic mini workshop series, and we're up to workshop number 21. I know it's very, very exciting how the weeks are flying by. I must apologise that I didn't do a workshop last week because I absolutely had no voice. I had laryngitis. So I know many people sort of messaged me and said, "Where's the workshop, Amanda?" I do apologise for that. But when you haven't got a voice, it's very hard to do sign language because I'm no good on sign language. And someone suggested I could have written things out, and I would have said to them, you wouldn't be able to read my writing. So I do apologise. So I'm back with almost a full voice again, which is absolutely amazing. I'd like to welcome everybody here. It's really lovely to have you all here again this week as we work with the new moon in Cancer. So before we kick the little mini workshop off, I want to sort of get some T's and C's out of the road. This is an educational workshop series. It's not a series where I'm going to do a card or I'm going to answer questions for you on where your life's heading. It's not a reading section. It's an educational section on learning to work with candles and also what our mini workshop is about. We always have a theme each week, and we have a theme that I then weave into it the candles from my range as well. But it's also about not just learning about how to work with the magic of candles. It's also to learn how to work with whatever the energy is that we're working with for this week. And this week it's the new moon in Cancer. So for those of you that this is your very, very first time joining us from around the world, I welcome you. Here in Australia, it's just after midday. It's 12:30 here. So I've just come out of my previous show on A1R Psychic Radio over on Moonstruck TV, which you will be able to play in the catch-up on my, I have a page set up where I have the workshop and show series on one of my pages. So that'll be uploaded in the next 48 hours for you to be able to play catch up and even go back and binge watch some of the previous shows. As I said, we're up to workshop number 21. And I've been working over at A1R Psychic Radio on Moonstruck TV for over 12 months now. So I think we're up to about 68 or 69 shows over there. So there's lots of information there that you can catch up on. And I will not be sort of giving a shout out to everybody that joins us live, but I'm happy to sort of wave to you or make a little comment after the show in the next 48 hours. So please don't think I'm ignoring you. I prefer to try and stay on topic and keep the workshop flowing in a way that doesn't seem sort of distracted by waving to Mary and Bob and answering how the cat is or whatever. I prefer to sort of keep it as professional as possible. I suppose that's just me and the way that I sort of like to work. And it's a time where I think we've got such a limited amount of time to be together that I really want to make the information jump out at you, something that you can take away, something that you can incorporate into your life today and start to use. So that's the main purpose for me doing these little workshops is I'm here to educate. And it's my way of giving something back to my industry that it's not about, you know, I'm not expecting you to buy products or book readings if you want to do that. That's absolutely fabulous. But my main objective is to help bring some more information into the world and to share with you some of my extensive experience. For those of you that don't know me, my name's Amanda Hall. I've been in the psychic industry here in Australia for over 40 years. I've been inducted into the Psychic Hall of Fame for my dedication to teaching for close on 40 years now. I've also won Australian Psychic of the Year for the last 4 years. It's been voted by the public. So I'd like to thank everybody that's voted for me. It is a real honour, and I do feel very humble that people year after year keep voting for me when there's so many other amazing people out there that deserve the award as well. But, you know, it's nice to know that you still think that I'm number one in your eyes anyway, and that's fabulous. Thank you very much again. So let's get on to the show. We're going to be working with the new moon in Cancer. So what does a new moon mean? A new moon is a time when the moon is new. It's not full, it's new. So it's a time when we need to set our intentions for things that are new in our lives or things that we would like to bring into our lives in a new fashion. I'm not a crystal person, so I can't tell you whether this is the time to put your crystals out under the moon or bury them in the earth. You'll have to ask somebody else about that. I'm certainly not an expert in that area. And crystals and I, as much as I appreciate them and they're very pretty, I don't feel a natural affinity, and I've never been drawn to working with them or even understanding them past some very basic information. So please don't ask me anything about crystals because I really don't know, other than that one looks pretty, or I know that one might be for grounding, or that one might be for increasing finances. But past that point, or the pink one's for love, I'm really very much a novice in that way. So working with a new moon energy, for those of you that are new to the show, you won't be familiar with my process of working with any new moon or any full moon. I like to make it a 7-day process. And the reasons why I like to make it a 7-day process is it isn't just all of a sudden when the moon becomes new that all of a sudden we feel the energy, and then when it stops being new that we all of a sudden turn it off like a tap. It has a build up to it. So I like to look at 2 days as if we're marching up a hill, 2 days before the moon is new. Then we have 3 days where the new moon sits on top of the mountain. Then we have another 2 days where it starts to slowly descend. So the new moon this month, for wherever you are around this amazing planet of ours, it's on the 13th. So we have 2 days prior to the 13th of the moon starting to rise up the mountain, getting ready to sit on top of the mountain for 3 days. Even though the cycle is only approximately 2.5 days, let's sort of err on the side of caution and say 3 days, and then we'll allow the moon to start tapering off the final 2 days. So this is why sometimes you start to tune into the energy of the moon even before it actually is what it is. And you think, but why am I feeling this? Why all of a sudden is my energy being heightened? Why can't I sleep? Why am I feeling restless? Why am I feeling hungry? Why am I feeling this? Why am I feeling that? It's because we're slowly starting to absorb or get ready to go into that moon phase. Now, with a new moon, the new moon is about bringing in new things. So I would like to teach you how to work with candles and working with a new moon. So the new moon would be that I would like you to write a list of 3 things. One, the thing that maybe we can achieve or draw towards us in the next 2 weeks. Something that might be a little bit further away, some months away, up to 6 months, and something that may be more longer term, 12 months or more. So that we've got an immediate, a middle, and a further down the track project that we're working on, or something that we're trying to draw towards us. Now, these don't have to be new businesses or new loves. They can be anything. It can be, I just want to get in touch with my emotions, and I'm really going to work on that in the next 2 weeks. It can be anything that feels new or something that you're trying to revamp or modernize or give it a fresh approach in your life. So when we start to work with candles, we write the list of what we're trying to bring in with the new moon. And in this case, I want you to write 2 lists, because anytime we work with a new or full moon, we're also working with the astrological energy that it is sitting in. So therefore, we need 2 lists. So if you were working with my full moon candle, you can see, my new moon candle, I beg your pardon. This is a candle that has been specially designed for the new moon only. It's not a candle that we would burn daily or something we would burn because we like the fragrance. It's specifically been designed to burn at the time of the new moon. So we would write our list with a minimum of 3 things on it. We would go to light the candle, but before we do that, we would read it out aloud. Then we would place the list underneath the candle. The candle and the list then would be placed on a coaster. We never put a candle directly on furniture, because the glass container actually gets quite hot during the process of the burning. The actual soy wax does not get hot, but it's the actual candle itself, the glass container it's in, does get hot. Now, for this reason, I always like to put things on coasters so we don't scorch the furniture, and we minimize the chance of the glass container cracking. Now, in my experience of working with these, and I've tried many different combinations, when you have an extra large candle, you can't get away from the fact that you need 2 wicks. In my personal experience, I found by burning 2 wicks, you can have a lot of candles that are perfectly fine, and then all of a sudden you'll get one that cracks because you're burning the 2 wicks. So the system that I work with, which might sound like I'm a cheapskate, is that I light one side of the candle one day and then I light the other side the next day. Not only does this minimize or reduce the risk of the candle cracking in if the weather temperature changes, and here in Australia it can change quite frequently, you know, even in the summer when the barometric pressure drops drastically because we're going to get a summer storm, I found candles can crack in that. I've found, you know, as you know, the temperature drops a few degrees or goes up a few degrees, it can make the difference of a candle cracking. But more importantly, I think that you get a longer burn time out of your candle. And I like to think that we can all get as much value out of a product as possible. So if you want to burn the 2 wicks, that's fine. Just remember that you run the risk of that maybe the glass might crack, and you'll only get about 60-hour burn time out of it. But if you light the alternate wicks, one day and one the next day, you'll get up to 100 hours. So it's nearly doubles the life of your candle. So then I would also light my water sign candle, because this is the candle that represents Cancer. So that I would be giving the two little things, and I'll just show you in here. You can see that it's got 2 wicks, one on this side and one on that side. So that's the reasons why I would burn one day and one the next day, so that it just increases the life of the candle. So it's our extra large ones. But for those of you that want a smaller pack, we also have what we call our gift box set. Now this one you can make up with choice of any 3 candles that you like. Today I've made it up with 2 new moon and 1 water sign in the middle, but you can make it up with whatever you like. You might want a new moon and a full moon. You might want the astrological one that relates to your star sign rather than the energy that the candles were going to be in each month. That's entirely your choice. Or you might want a love candle. You know, that's your choice. They will burn for about 15 minutes each. Same rules apply on the coaster, things like that. But for those of you that don't want to burn a candle, or feel that, you know, that a candle might be too dangerous in your environment because you have small children, or you have lots of pets running around, or you just don't have the time to sit with the candle, because you need to be sitting with the candle while it's burning, anything from 15 minutes to 2 hours per day, to gain the maximum out of it, then I suggest you go to a melt warmer. Now, you can buy these here in Australia at the supermarket for under $20. They're electric. You plug them in. They've got a little button on the side. You sort of put in the top, you put the wax out of your candle, half a teaspoon a day, and you need to add fresh soy wax every day so that you get the full maximum benefit of the fragrance, but also the intent that the candle was infused with. So in this case, where we're looking at the new moon, I would put half a teaspoon of the new moon and half a teaspoon of the water sign in there together. And at the end of the 7-day cycle, I would remove that wax, clean the top little tray, and be ready to start with whatever I'm going to be working with next, the next 7 days. So these are also great for, sometimes we have a little bit of wax left over after burning our candles, so it's not wasted. So it's entirely your choice. Again, the same thing. You would write your intentions and put it underneath the wax warmer on a coaster. Never again putting anything on a table. I'm fanatical about that. So that's how you work with those. So that this is helping us then really focus on what we're doing. And why do we, you know, if we're working with a candle, why would we do that? We've lit the candle. We've got the intent, the purpose and direction of the candle. We've read out our little list out aloud. We've put it underneath the candle or candles. Then what do we do? Well, in that 15 minutes to 2 hours that we're there, this is the time that I like to use as my meditation time. Talk about multitasking, but I'm all for multitasking because I'm not a great meditator. And one of the things that I learned from somebody I have immense respect for was John Edward. I did a course with him earlier this year called Project You. And he said, for those people that find it really difficult to meditate, light a candle and just focus on the flame of the candle. And I thought, wow, that's my type of meditation. You know, in, out, quick, finish, done. You know, multitasking, I can light the candle. I can sit there with it for the 15, 20 minutes. I can just focus on the flame of the candle, allow my mind to go still, because after all, that's what meditation is about. You don't necessarily have to have some jingle jangle music going in the background and somebody talking about going down into a cave or going to the beach or whatever. I used to find that incredibly distracting because they'd be going taking you to the cave and I'd want to go to the beach. And I really found I got no benefit out of it at all. And it was like, you know, it was like it became more than a chore to me. So I stopped it. But with what John taught me was it was easy because it was something that I was automatically doing anyway. I always light a candle every day. I always sit with it for a minimum of 15 minutes. So it was a way that I could sort of focus, allow my mind to go still and use that as my meditation time. And sometimes you'll find then you'll get messages. Sometimes you'll get absolutely nothing. You're just lost in the flicker of the flame and enjoying that time with yourself and that little bit of peace before your busy day starts. And it's very relaxing. And, you know, meditation is about different things to different people. So I'm not saying don't meditate, and I'm not saying take, you know, just because I don't particularly like it, but I found this method, thanks to John, that works for me. So I think we all need to work with what's right for us. So doing that, we're actually putting the intent into the candle even stronger. And for those of you that don't have my candles, look, that's fine. Work with what you've got around the house. I don't care if it's even come from the $2 shop. If you focus enough on the candle, we'd say that the candle's burning. Imagine we've got the candle burning and we're looking at the flame. And if you're focusing enough on that, with it sitting on the table in front of you, and you could probably put your hands around it, you can focus on what you want to put into that candle. Yes, it won't be as powerful as having one that's been designed and infused with that intent, but this is the next best thing. Not all of us have an unlimited supply of money that we can go out and have the luxury of purpose designed and hand poured candles to work with the new moon energy. And some of us, you know, have lots of candles that we've been given as gifts over the years and didn't know what to do with and thought, yeah, I'll get around to burning them one day. Well, then start to work through that. You know, maybe go through your candle supply and put a little label on them underneath them. You know, this one's going to be my full moon candle. This one's going to be my love candle. This one's going to be my new moon candle. And give them little tags. So that then as we work through the workshop series, you can see there that, okay, fine, look, I can do that. I can use this candle for that one. And for those of you that don't even have that, but might only have some household grade candles in the drawer ready for a blackout, well, work with those. It's okay. I mean, it's all about personal choice. And some people used to say to me, oh, Amanda, I like to sort of rub mine with honey. Oh, go for your life. Some people used to say to me, I like to put something on there and put some glitter on it. If that's what works for you, do what feels right to you. Can I just err on the side of caution, though? When we're working with moon energy, it's preferable to try and keep it as neutral as possible because we want to work with the emotions of the moon. Now, what the new moon means as it's in Cancer is the fact that the energy of the moon itself is back in its home. It's back where it belongs. It's back where it feels comfortable. It's in the sign that it rules in astrology. It's back in Cancer. So it's going to be a lot more powerful than normal, than in another sign, because it's back home. It feels comfortable. It can be itself. It can show off. It can do its party tricks. But with its party tricks also come increased emotions. Now, for some people, that may be that all of a sudden they're getting lots of flashes, lots of messages, things are really pumping, things are really happening. Wow, this is great. I hope this continues. Well, it may only go for the duration of the new moon, and that's okay. And then it'll taper off, and that's okay too. We can't always work at full speed ahead and not learn to slow down and stop and, you know, regroup and look at what we've learned. But it will also be a time where it can bring a lot of emotions to the surface. Now, they can be positive or they can be negative or anything in between. So 1 minute you might be on the greatest high, and the next minute you're bursting into tears and you think, what's wrong with me? 5 minutes ago I was on top of the world, now I'm howling. This is all part of the moon energy, and it's all part of the new moon energy coming in saying to you, I want you to experience everything. Everything that is new to you. If you've been a person that's been clever enough to push your emotions and lock them up in the cupboard or the closet, and now they've come tumbling out, that's new to you. And it's scary. And it's like, oh, I feel like I'm out of control now. No, you're not out of control. You're not heading for a nervous breakdown. For the first time in your life, or for a long time, you're allowing yourself to experience all emotions, not the ones that you picked and choose that you liked and put the others away for wrong. So this is really important. So there's lots of talk about it being a super full moon, and a super full moon just means it's a little bit bigger in the sky than it normally is. I really don't want you to get bogged down on all these different types of moon. Each moon, each month has a different name. Yes, sometimes some are a little bit more powerful than normal, but I err on the side of caution with this. I say, let's not get bogged down in too many details. The basics here are it's a new moon, it's in Cancer, and it's back in its own home. So those three things in itself tell me it's going to be a more powerful moon than normal. If we then start adding the layer of, oh my heavens, it's a super full new moon. Oh, well, you know, it's going to be more powerful than normal. Well, we've already established it's more powerful than normal. So it's really not exaggerating that. It's really not making it any bigger or better than what it really was anyway. It's just that it's slightly bigger in the sky. So let's not get bogged down in too many details and lose sight of the major facts that we need to be working with. So it's a time of setting new things in our lives. It may be a time where we really start to look at our own emotional makeup Are we a sensitive person, or are we that sort of person that's sensitive when we choose to be, and other times we're as hard as nails and we like to shove everything and put it in the cupboard and put the padlock on it because we don't want to deal with it today? Well, maybe we can undo the padlock and just let some of those little emotions out. It's, you know, there's so many things going on astrologically at the moment. I could be here all day and we still wouldn't scratch the surface of what's actually happening. But I'd like you to just focus on the new moon, with it coming up in Cancer, how it's going to affect you and how you can maximize this energy and draw some new things towards you. So on next week's workshop, we're going to be actually covering the sun in Cancer before the sun actually leaves Cancer for the 12-month segment. Because I didn't do the show last week, I was going to do the workshop last week on the sun in Cancer. So I've had to swap it over to next week. So I do apologise for all our little Cancerians that were waiting for that one. But it will be next week. I do promise it will be. And we'll also be sort of, you know, working with why the Cancer energy is so important to us. No matter what your star sign is, we all need to understand as the sun moves through the different signs of the zodiac, how it affects each and every one of us, and what are the things that we need to absorb and take on board, even though it may not be our star sign. So for those of you that would like to book a private reading with me, you can head to my website, www.amandahallpsychic.com.au. When you get to the checkout, the coupon box, type in the word in capital letters, Facebook, and you will get a discount there. Now that's on everything on the website, whether it's product, whether it's candles, readings, courses, you name it. We do have a discount there if you type in the word Facebook. Here in Australia, we offer free postage on everything. For our overseas family, unfortunately, we can't offer that, but we do offer a flat free postage, and that is as much, doesn't matter how much stuff that you purchase, it's one flat fee. So might I suggest if you're overseas and you want to get a few things, save up your pennies and buy them all in one go so that you've only got that one lot of postage. And it doesn't matter, we'll post anywhere in the world, no matter how big the order is, on that flat fee. That's the best that we can offer everybody. And it's also, you know, just an exciting time to be alive. I think that, you know, we've had some amazing miracles this week. When you look at those little boys that were trapped in that cave with their coach and they're all out safe and sound, that to me is the greatest miracle of all this week. But must I say that we cannot forget the diver who lost his life and is a hero and will go down in history as a hero, trying to save those boys and that coach. What an amazing man who made the ultimate sacrifice, his life, to try and rescue those children. So until next week, I hope you enjoy the rest of your week, and hopefully by next week my voice will be even better. I look forward to working with each and every one of you. Have a great week, and bye for now.